Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Teacup for One Alice in Wonderland movie marathon. Where's my drink? My name is Matt, and I have 2 degrees. And welcome to week 3 of talking about another Alice in Wonderland movie. I'm so excited about the movie we're talking about tonight. It was such an integral part of my childhood. Well, I can't even say childhood. I was like 12 when this came out, but I don't care. Of my childhood viewing experience. And just watching it brought back so many memories and also made me realize how much of the humor went over my head. And I'm so excited to talk about it. It's so fun. So today we are talking about the 1999 made-for-TV Alice in Wonderland film. And there's like this long-running trend with Alice in Wonderland movies where like made-for-TV movies tend to happen a lot, or like once every 5 to 10 years, I find. And I think that trend kind of ended actually with this movie, so never mind what I just said. But yeah, there's actually going to be a video about it on my channel if I ever have time to do it. When I'm done designing t-shirts, that's another thing. But yeah, Alice in Wonderland on TV. It's a winning formula because just like the nature of the story allows you to like throw in so many different cameos and to just grab as many B-list celebrities as you possibly can and like cram them into a movie. And you just have to have like one halfway decent child actor who they're like, you don't have to pay that much to string it all together. And then there you go. You have a wonderful movie. And I feel like this is a wonderful movie, but we're going to discuss it. It's going to be great. Let's see who we have here in the chat. It's my cat, Eliza. Hello, humans. Hello, Eliza. Many meows. And it's my other cat, Sabrina. Yes, it's an evening show. We love a late show, Sabrina. We love a late show. All right, let's bring in our first guest for the evening, Teacup for One regular. It's Alex T-Tie, everyone. Hello, Alex.
Hey, folks.
Hello, welcome. You look distressed. Did you just finish watching the movie like a minute ago?
No, I finished watching the movie like an hour and a half ago, and okay. Oh my god, dude!
What?
Oh my god! What a terrible movie! Like,
how dare you?
Way too long. I mean,
how dare it wasn't long enough.
I grant that it is a star-studded cast. I mean, I winced when you said B-list because of how much star power was in that movie.
Well, actually, no, it's interesting that you say that because again, I have a video that I've been writing for the last week about Alice in Wonderland on TV. It's interesting because there's this tendency to cast celebrities that I feel at the time are kind of B-list. But then as time goes on, they become more cemented as like timeless. Like the one that was from 1985, that at the time was full of people that were considered not like super top tier celebrities. But you look at it now, it's like Sammy Davis Jr. is in there, Carol Channing, a bunch of other people that are just like icons. I feel like I don't think of Carol Channing or Sammy Davis Jr. and think like B-list celebrity now. But that's me.
Yeah, and I mean, it's the difference between like B-list. So obviously there's like the definition of a celebrity that's just so popular and so like well-known, prolific, but like not just prolific, but like ubiquitous on the tongues of people. Yeah. Versus actors who are equally prolific and are iconic to individuals' childhoods, but are inarguably not as popular. Not as well established or not even well established, but just didn't have that as big of an impact in terms of that sort of celebrity culture that A-list celebrities have. So
that sounded very smart, but my response to that is both profound and meaningful. Get your hair cut. Let's bring in our next guest for the evening. In the waiting room, I saw Kristen Zaza got the reference and she enjoyed it. But next guest for the evening, it's Jeanette, everybody.
Hello.
Look, it's a bunny. It's a bunny.
It's a bunny.
That's not a bunny. That's a hatter.
That for some reason has a cow print.
Oh, that's kind of a March Hare thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
There we go.
Which ear is which? There it is.
Jeanette, welcome. Who's your favorite B-list celebrity?
Oh boy, I'm sure there's a lot, and a lot of them. To your point, a lot of them are not B-list celebrities anymore. I mean, like they're like fairly well-known celebrities now. Like I would have said previously, Bill Skarsgård, not a B-list celebrity anymore by many, many strokes. So yeah, I don't know how to answer that anymore. Because literally, I think I'm thinking to a lot of them, and I'm like, I don't really think that's a B-list celebrity anymore. Anya Taylor-Joy. not a B-list celebrity anymore, right? Like,
was she ever though? I feel like
she was in horror movies and like not B-list, but like maybe I would say underrated,
niche
first. Niche, yes, that's the best description. Yeah, exactly. So like, I don't know. Those are people I would have nodded many years ago. And this is how behind the times I am. So you'll have to forgive me.
Yeah, anytime I think of Anna Taylor-Joy, I just imagine that goat ramming that terrible man through at the end of the Vavitch. And
right?
Yeah.
The veg. And you have seen the menu? You still have not seen, you finished it, right? Yeah, you finished
I finished it. Yeah.
I remember, yeah.
Yeah, Matt, we never knew if he actually saw the menu or not, but
no, that was you. We didn't know if you saw the menu.
Confirmed. No. As Jeanette just established, your viewership was questionable.
No, we talked about it. I remember it. It's good.
There we go. We discussed it. All right, let's bring in our final guest for this evening. Guest of honor. It's Kristen Zaza, everybody.
Woo! Hey everyone, how are you doing?
Good. So excited to have you, Kristen. I feel like we're the only ones who like this movie, even in the comments. What a wild film. I agree with
that.
Nice, Vince.
We went from riding the this movie she deserves this movie, and this movie deserves her because they're both iconic.
Yeah, I think I rewatched this recently, and I was like, I am prepared to be the one person who liked it, like I am with most of the movies I come on this show to talk about. I was prepared, but rewatching it, I was like, okay, I truly do see the problems.
What are the problems? I see no problems.
None of the problems are with the actors. Like, none of the problems are with the actors. It's entirely lies with many other elements. Okay. Much like at the same time, the Star Wars movies that were coming out. Nothing to do with the actors, entirely everything to do with everything else. So yeah.
I mean, I'm sure we'll get into the details. But like
Star Wars month is coming.
I understand. Yeah, I won't. I'd be very helpful for that. But yeah, I see the issues. That being said, I do think that the sum of its parts is good. I think what it's we'll get into it. But I do have a deep fondness for this movie, so I'm excited to get in.
No, so am I. So let's start by talking about our childhood relationships to this movie, which I think of all of us, it's only us who watched this movie as youngsters. So I'm going to start, I'm assuming, like, Kristen, did you watch this as a kid, or did you just discover it like a year ago?
I discovered it today, and it's my new favorite movie. No, not at all. I think it might have been when I was maybe like 15 or 16. So it's probably still too old.
I pictured like little 9 or 10-year-old Kristen watching it on TV on the original broadcast. Oh
no, it was like, I don't know how it found my way. I think my mom found it on sale at Blockbuster or something, was like, and I was like, yes, and I liked it. But I think most people, was it you who said that it was in a cereal box?
No, maybe.
Apparently it was given out in a cereal. So
that would be worth so much now.
What?
That DVD or video would be worth so much. Do you know how hard it is to find any copy of this movie? Oh, I feel like all of us do. We had to try to watch it.
That's true. I have it on DVD somewhere, but I don't know where, and I don't have the case. I should have hung on to that. But apparently, it was some cereal.
Huh? Fun.
Yeah.
Mary's with me. Mary's on Team Pro Alice. Totally watched it on TV, and so did I. So when this broadcast on TV, I was ready. Like 12-year-old Matt was sitting on the Sunday evening at the television waiting for it to start. I had my blank VHS tape in the video recorder ready to hit record so I would have it forever. When it was released to VHS in the puffy case on the Tuesday that it was released after my music recital, we went to Blockbuster and I got it. I love it. I love it so much. Or I did as a youngster. And I distinctly remember whilst watching it at 12 thinking, I'm getting dizzy because all of this looks so fake and disorienting. But compared to what we're used to seeing now in movies and compared to the monstrosity I have to sit through for next week's movie, I feel like it's just a walk in the park now because we're used to everything being fake and cartoony. So there is that. Yeah, I was prepared to not like it, but to be underwhelmed. But I was so overwhelmed by how much more I liked it than I thought I would. There was so much humor that went over my head. Like, this is the most I've laughed on my own watching a movie in such a long time. Like, all of them, even the moments that aren't supposed to be funny, are just hilarious in my humble opinion. Stuff like get your hair cut. Pretty well anything Martin Short is doing. Or that Dormouse puppet where he's just like falling asleep. He's like, Danish.
He creeps me out deeply. The Dormouse has always upset me.
All of the rodents in this movie.
All of the puppets are so cute. What about the jury when they're writing?
Yeah, I'll agree with Matt on this one.
No, the jury, the white rabbit, the Dormouse, all of them.
Yeah, they're cute.
The white rabbit's adorable.
Really, the white rabbit looks like the smallest Teletubby. Its movements, its eyeballs.
Oh, yeah, it's like a wind-up thing.
It looks like Lala. It looks.
But his little voice, and there's so much character in that robot face and in the voice, and when he's like, "I'm too rich to die," it's hilarious.
I'm too rich to die. You go, be brave.
Movements.
But anyway, that's my opening statement. Alex, what? No, we'll end with
I already gave my.
Yeah, you're right. Jeanette, what did you think? First impression. Like, was this movie even on your radar before watching it for the show this week?
No, literally, I can't believe I feel like I'd seen pictures of it and like just looking up Alice in Wonderland previously for various reasons, as one does. But like I don't know that I had ever seen it or known that it was a real thing, like known what it was or when it came about. So this was my first time seeing it. First impression was it certainly feels like a made-for-TV movie in 1999. That's my first impression. Is what that is.
It's true. This was the pinnacle era of TV movies.
Once you move past that, if you can view it, one thing I did appreciate, I will say, that struck me, and I hope I'm right about it, it seems like they used matte paintings or matte drawings in this movie quite often. Yes.
I can neither confirm nor deny if I drew or painted the back.
When a character would move out of a live action scene into a hedge maze or a building or something, and it felt like they were using those. And I like that because I love the effect that those things give. It's very eerie. But that's just that was my most positive takeaway. And I'll save all my negative ones for later.
Let's go into it now. What am I missing that everyone seems to not like about this movie?
I felt it was painfully boring.
Oh, God, yes.
In comparison to many other iterations of this story,
last week's movie.
Oh yeah, that's saying
wasn't
something.
Boring by any means.
Yes,
I mean, I was bored, but not as bored as this time.
No, that was weird as hell.
Oh my gosh, boring. Okay.
I see that. I do think I think it's slow going. It's a bit of a slog. That was part of what I do sort of remember that when I go through it. I think that its strengths are its accuracy from what I remember of the book. I think it does a lot of the book stuff pretty close. It's just that, and this is maybe going to be a weird, unpopular opinion. I don't think it's an amazing book. I don't think it's an amazing story. I think it's been done to death. So, it's cool to see a pretty faithful one. I do think I read it in French, and like when I was a child. And so maybe I'm missing something in translation, but it seems to be pretty close. So I like that about it, but it is a little bit of a slog, and it means that we have to get through like the Duchess and the Pepper and the baby scene. Get rid of that. Why? I mean, I think it's scary. I think it's
the more really Pepper well. Lady.
I think it's performed really well, but like, it's just I don't like that scene. I think it's like, why did someone get this?
I think that's one of the few scenes that actually worked, but
what?
Yeah, and I like
that. What?
But
the baby Pepper music.
The music in this movie is like oddly placed, and like there's so little of it, so it's like not quite a musical, but it's not quite not. Like I'm like, what does it have to just take the songs out? Like just give me make a movie. Take the freaking songs out.
This is coming from someone who hasn't read the book, but
in.
I feel like the songs are in the movie where they presumably fall in the book. And the thing I like about the music in this, and this is from someone who's had the Porpoise song perpetually stuck in my head for like 24 years. Like I was able to still sing it word for word, note for note, having not seen this movie in a long time. So the music has stayed with me for a while. But I think that, especially compared to the 1985 Alice in Wonderland movie with Carol Channing, that the music in that movie feels so dated and so 80s. So like I appreciate the sound of the music in this film because it feels era appropriate for me instead of dating it to like this is what people were listening to in 1999. It's like this is kind of appropriate to the time and the place that this is happening, as opposed to like Sammy Davis Jr. rapping as a caterpillar.
Yeah, that does seem inappropriate for a number of reasons, but yeah.
Yes.
Let's not have that one. I'm glad you didn't schedule that one on this.
That one is also oddly better than I remembered, but it's kind of painful in some ways. Yes.
Yeah, I feel like the acting, and I mean, I don't know, like I said before, I feel like the acting in this one's really good. And then like sometimes it's just like you said, Martin Short, and I feel like is it Miranda Richardson? Is that her name?
Yes.
Martin Short and Miranda Richardson, standouts, almost to a fault. I feel like they're so good that they make other people in their scenes look poorer.
I agree.
Yeah.
Mostly with Miranda, but I like Martin too.
I think the whole House of Cards, including and maybe especially Jason Fleming, who you didn't ask me who my favorite B actor.
Oh yeah, who's your favorite B actor?
I don't even know if he's considered a B actor. I'm also going to jump in and say Jeanette's idea of a B actor is extremely discerning.
Well, I mean, those guys were like, he was in Hemlock Grove. I found out Bill Skarsgård on Hemlock Grove. Nobody watched that show. And like, nobody knew who he was.
Bruce Campbell or William Finley or
well, and if you call him a B actor, yeah, sure. Bruce Campbell's my favorite B actor. I feel like everybody knows who Bruce Campbell is.
More than Anya Taylor-Joy.
Well, no, but that's what I'm saying. Like The Witch. When The Witch came out, did anybody know who Anya Taylor-Joy was?
Yeah,
no.
Well, somebody has to have a first movie, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I like.
Is Leonardo DiCaprio a B actor because
I like What's Eating Gilbert Grape?
I don't think it quite works. I don't know. I disagree with this definition of a B actor.
we could discuss that on another show. What's a B actor?
I don't keep up enough
to be or not to be. That is the question.
I mean, everybody was a B actor at one point.
No, but, Pete Postlethwaite, whatever his name is, like he's an actor. I love him and all like my childhood classics, but he's always remained a B actor.
That's like a C actor.
Sure, if you want, but he's a brilliant actor. But he's always remained pretty much in his place. He's stuck to his lane. So
Jason Fleming is Jack. I think
he's been in other stuff.
The Knave of Hearts, and
he's done other stuff.
He's done a ton of things.
I was gonna say his face looks very
well. He looks like that other actor that remember Matt
everything.
in Midsummer Night's Dream. That actor, from the Queen. No, Oberon.
Oh, he doesn't look like.
Jason Fleming looks a little bit like him.
No,
sure. Rupert Everett.
No, the Adrian Noble 1996 Midsummer Night's Dream with the umbrellas.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah, I do too. It's so good.
Oh, the umbrellas.
Yeah.
With Lindsay Duncan.
Who is she? Which one is she?
She's
Helena?
Titania.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes.
And
she's from Rome, apparently, or something.
Yeah,
she's in Rome. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Jason Fleming was in everything. Like he's been in. What are the ones that I know offhand? I mean, they're kind of weird offhand ones, like The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. He was Jekyll and Hyde.
Oh my God, that's where I knew him from. I was like, I love that movie so much. Oh my God.
I love it more. This is another one that I love more than I should.
I need to put that on my list of rewatching.
Oh, I thought
It's
you
a tough
just said I love it
rewatch, I
more.
find,
than
but-
she had.
What, League of,
Oh, I'm sure it's
League
not
of
going to be as good
Extraordinary
as I
Gentlemen?
remember it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god. I just
Yeah.
watched it like last year. I thought it was so
Oh, I've never seen it. Let's watch it.
It's so
The
great.
comic is pretty outstanding and very brutal. So, but yeah. What else? He was in Kick-Ass. He was in.
Huh.
Mhm.
He's great.
Well, he's in a bunch of Guy Ritchie stuff apparently, like Lock, Stock, and Smoke and Barrel and stuff.
Yeah.
But
He's done a
Snatch,
ton of.
which I love Snatch. I don't remember who was in Snatch though.
Let me
And like
see, I'm gonna
I love a lot of those Guy Ritchie films.
Yeah.
Aladdin
Let's see.
and yeah.
But he was amazing, I think, as the Knave of Hearts with Miranda Richardson and Simon Russell Beale as the
Yes.
king. I'm like, that's a trio made in heaven, I think. And I think they all feed off each other really, really well. Yeah, I love it.
This movie made me like regard Miranda Richardson at that point in my life as my favorite actor. This compared with, I saw her in a few other things. I saw her in the TV Merlin with Sam Neill, probably Sleepy Hollow. Like she was just in a lot of TV Hallmark fantasy movies that I really liked as a youngster. And then she started to be in more niche like fantasy movies like Sleepy Hollow that I saw as I got older. So for a while, like while I was in high school, if people said, who's your favorite actor? I would say Miranda Richardson, mostly because of this. And I still kind of stand by that.
Is it weird, or is there a connection to the fact that her and Martin Short have found an interesting recurring duo in both this and in Merlin?
Who knows?
I don't know. What a weird combination of two people to be in TV movies that are like
Miranda Richardson seemed to be hitting the storybook like matriarchs really hard.
Yes,
like
that's
at this
a
time
way to put it.
period. She was really trying to get those roles.
Yeah,
she's just such a good character actor or actor in general, but like to be that ridiculous as the queen but still make it work. I don't know, she kind of ruined all other Queens of Hearts for me, because in my mind, like that's it. I can't hear any other off with their heads, because like that's it. That's what resonates in my brain.
You're not gonna like.
She's got a terrific like vocal instrument for that. Off with
like
her
it just
shtick.
it's so shrill, it's so distinct
and consistent, like
and
well,
so
I also like
petulant.
how completely toothless the queen is in this. Like, she's not scary at all. She's literally a baby. Like, I think they're making her look like a baby. And,
and in the book, right? Isn't that how it reads? I feel like she's like that in the book. Like they talk about her sitting on the ground and like throwing temper tantrums and stuff, don't they?
Yeah,
not quite in those words, but like.
Again, my memory's really fuzzy, but
oh yeah, it's been a few years. I'm just like, I did read it like twice, but I'm like recalling.
Yeah, like she's not that scary because she's just like I don't know.
Yeah. Well, no, there was a line in the 85 TV movie that I don't know if it's from the book, but I would like it included in more things, where they just outright say they're all empty threats and she never actually beheads anybody.
Yeah, and this movie does like shows us that, like, as opposed to like some of the other movies where or at least I don't know if it was the previous one or the pre-previous one, but we actually have to see some beheadings.
Oh, that was last week, with the cutting the cards.
Yeah. Amongst other things.
Yeah, but since we're talking about the court, I loved Simon Russell Beale's little, I don't know what I would even call them, almost asides, like when he says, "Oh, that book sounds indecent, it should be banned," or "You're so prejudiced, that's why I make such a great judge." Like those little quips, just they destroyed me, and I adored it. And it's the first time I've been engaged by the King of Hearts in anything, aside from just thinking he's funny and goofy in the Disney one. So I was
love-hate with the King personally. I know we've praised the actor a bit on the show, and I don't necessarily have anything against the actor, but there were a few scenes like that's prejudice. That's what makes me such a great judge. Like I liked that line too, and I thought it was a well-written and well-delivered and executed scene and line. But there were other scenes, like when, including the one that you referenced first, but like there were a couple of scenes where I felt like it felt try hard for me. It felt like what it felt like was the King was interjecting himself to try to be funny. And for me, there were those scenes that they weren't landing. It wasn't hilarious to me. It was more like, oh, I guess that could be funny if, I was simpler minded. But yeah, like there were a couple of scenes with the king for me that just felt like he was interjecting himself in an attempt to be comedic, and not like directorially speaking, like that's what this, it just wasn't. It felt try hard to me, and there were some scenes that didn't work. So like whatever that scene, like that's an example. The first scene that you referenced,
with the cat. Cat may look at a king. What is that? I don't know. I read it in a book somewhere. Well, I haven't. That book sounds indecent. It should be banned.
Oh yeah. Like there were, I don't know, and that, it's not like something poorly written. It was almost like too hammy, maybe, or something. I don't know. There was something with the delivery of that, like, oh, I don't like the book. It should be banned. Like there was something, and that's a good impression, but like there was something, I don't know, too try hard, too hammy. Anyway, sometimes.
Kristen was looking something up though.
Oh yeah. Jason Fleming was Azazel in X-Men First Class. That's all. I just wanted to share that. Yeah,
cool.
I like
the red.
Yeah, so literally, like most of the things you named, I've seen him in, because I was like, yeah, no, I totally know who this guy is. I just did not know his name.
Yep, and I've seen him in pretty well none of those things. So that's why I was confused and thought, oh, he had one good TV movie and that was it.
Now I just want to talk about League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
We can schedule it for later.
Let's all watch it.
Yeah, I need to rewatch.
I think I'm the only one that's never seen it ever. So
it's not. It's not good.
Oh, is it not?
Amazing. I don't. Okay, look.
Oh, it's like this movie.
We're not doing this right now.
The League of Extraordinary.
I want all the like Gene Wilder was there. We love Willy Wonka.
Oh, I love Gene Wilder.
Yeah.
I personally didn't. I thought he was criminally underused.
And poor Gene Wilder was shoved in some strange
turtle costume.
Misshapen.
Oh,
terrifying.
Why didn't the Griffin eat
what
the
was
turtle?
that costume?
Because they were friends.
They should have eaten the turtle. That was a perfect setup. No. I was so disappointed.
I feel like all this implied that they're gonna cook the turtle, but maybe I'm wrong about that. But he's a mock turtle, so what's he? Yeah. He's supposed. I don't.
It's
I don't
turtle
know.
soup.
Well, no, there's another.
They're making
again,
it with a fake turtle.
Harken to the '85 TV movie, the mock turtle. The costume it's a turtle shell with like a cow underneath it because apparently historically mock turtle soup was. Yeah, it was cow masquerading as turtle in a turtle soup. So,
well,
but
that and like that was drawn as like a mock turtle. Like,
oh, was it?
I think that was I think that was like a thing in mythology, if I'm not mistaken. I feel like I looked. Yeah, that turtle.
Wait, there's a mythological creature that's a cow that looks like a turtle.
I feel like that could be true. I feel like I've seen a picture of a creature like that, but maybe it's just the illustration from the book. I don't know, but like I feel like I've seen other drawings of it.
To the Michael Scott Office bit where Michael's describing different hypothetical mythical creatures that are funny combinations of different bodies and heads.
But there is an illustration of it, obviously, in the book. But yeah, that's what it's supposed to look like. And I kind of thought that's what was going to happen. And I was like, oh, I wonder what Gene Wilder's going to look like. Oh, Gene Wilder just looks like Gene Wilder
in a
freaking turtle costume. And not even a good turtle costume. A really weird and like, I don't know. That coming out of the shell bit was like.
What about those little CGI lobsters and the porpoises when they're dance?
Those were kind of cool. I mean, that was a cute little scene.
The animation was so bad. That was the only time I found it cringy, was that animation. But I still loved it because of what they were doing. It was so cute and endearing. He's like, and then everyone switches lobsters, and then they get a new lobster and they dance. It was so funny. It was so cute. I love this movie. I will say one of my issues with this movie that I recalled from loving it in my childhood and carries over now is I don't really love the pacing of the second part, like everything after the Queen of Hearts scene. And I think that's only been increased because since I've gone on this whole rabbit hole marathon of my own, watching as many Alice movies as I can over the past few weeks, like I've said previously, I've learned that I love Alice Through the Looking Glass more than Wonderland. And so seeing a not great watered down version of Looking Glass in the second half of this movie to me feels like a tease, because I love the overall like production design. I love the aesthetic. I love the casting of this movie. And it feels like it's just tempting me to say, look how good we could have had a Looking Glass movie, but you don't get it. You get like 4 scenes and that's it. And inexplicably you get the chessboard grass, which you'll understand if you know that now we're in Looking Glass, but it makes no sense because we're not actually in Looking Glass land. So there is that.
Isn't there a chessboard grass in the first half too?
Is
at some
there?
point? I don't know for sure, but I want to say I had a vague, because I remember when it came again. Not that I knew the reference, but
Yeah.
I just remember I had this memory that when it came in again towards the end of the middle of the movie, I remembered like, there's that weird grass again.
It's entirely possible, but I only noticed it in the second half because I was attuned into, this is Looking Glass, but not as good. So there we are. But yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I had some thoughts while Alex, you were talking about, like the King's delivery of certain lines. And
get into it.
For me, I mean, I wonder if this is touching a bit of the same nerve. Like my problem was not with the performances in certain parts. I feel like, and you've all Matt, you've just watched a bunch of Alice's, so you might know the answer to this. But like this movie seemed in general to be hitting a little bit over the head the like social parody in this. Like with the King, everything's about like that book should be banned. The
rules should be followed.
Yeah, like everything, or like I'm prejudiced, so I'm perfect to be a judge, or a lot of things that people say are just like obviously
there's the rule,
one
mile high.
Yeah, it's like a metaphor for society, and I'm like, I get it. Aren't people silly? Shouldn't we have more? Like, I'm I believe in that message where I'm like, people in their silly world, it's so they take it so seriously, and like I appreciate the message, but it did seem to be a little too like wink, wink the whole time.
Hitting the nail on the head too hard type thing.
No, I definitely feel like it was more.
That character is the most symptomatic, symptomatic of that. They gave it all to this poor guy. That's what I think.
I think they gave a little bit of it to the White Rabbit too in his scene with Bill, where it's like, I can't do it. I'm too rich to die. And that whole dialogue, but I loved it. I thought it was
that was so funny because
funny.
Because up until that line, like nobody was referencing like the idea that death was a possibility wasn't even like in the air, but the Rabbit's response, because like the guy was like because he says, right, like, oh, are you brave? Are you a coward? He's like, I have cowardly legs or whatever, but otherwise, I'm brave and whatnot. But then, the Rabbit's like, is like, well, if you're so brave, why can't you do it? And the Rabbit's like, I'm too rich to die. I just thought the fact that like it's like, we're not even talking about death. Why do you have to say that you're too rich to die? Why don't you say you're too rich to work or too rich to be bothered? But the fact that you're saying you're too rich to die.
Social commentary, that's why.
And no, and I agree. And I think there's like the fact that they don't, like, there's almost a subtlety in that line. I think it's almost like, I think it's an effective or a clever way to make this point that we're making about talking about like, social class or whatever. Right. Like it's, I don't know. That was clever. But
the thing is, at the same time, there's this through line of her dislike, not even fear of performance or of public speaking.
I wanted to talk about this. Let's go.
And I feel like, okay, well, what is it about? Like I'm not really sure. Why is she going through Wonderland? Because she's like observing all the human grown-up characters are like parodies of human grown-ups in our world, and I get it. Again, the social commentary, I understand. But at the same time, everybody asks her to perform something and she's like, I don't like performing. And they're like, you must. Oh, just do it. You have to like it. So then she's like, okay, fine. And she does it. And they're like, that was bad. You should feel bad. I'm like, she didn't want to do it. Like, what?
Wait, when did that happen?
So, like with the caterpillar, for example, it's like, recite your old Father William.
The rest of, the recital.
I don't know if you were trying, but you skipped 5 verses.
Okay.
It wasn't
I don't know
good.
if you were trying for the Paganini variation for voice and trumpet, but you skipped 5 verses. I'm like, it's a funny, that's my favorite line, I think.
What does it even mean? What's a Paganini?
I don't know much about Paganini other than I think he was a great violinist and played very quickly, and I think he was a composer as well. So I think very fast music is associated like very with Paganini anyway. So maybe that's why, because she skipped ahead. Je ne sais pas. But it's the weirdest thing to me. They're all like, do it. She explicitly says she doesn't want to, and she gets criticized, and then she comes back to the real world, and I guess the lesson is you have to just do something that inspires you and that you like. because she didn't want to sing. It's just that she didn't want to sing
Cherry
Cherry Ripe because it's a bad song, but she just had to sing the Porpoise song. I'm like,
Will you, won't you?
Was
Will
that
you,
the
won't
point of the
you?
music? Was that she got to choose like out of the 3 or 4 songs that were in the movie? She got to choose one at the end of the movie.
I think
Imagine she
should've
picks the
picked
Duchess
Beautiful
song.
Soup.
No, I was
Yeah.
gonna say she should have sang like "I speak severely to my boy and beat him when
I
he
hate that.
sneezes."
Stop.
He
Stop.
only
I
does
hate
it
that
to-
scene so
That
much.
baby, I hope they took that prop and burned that prop. I've
Yeah.
never wanted anything
I hate
created
that.
by the
Jeanette,
Henson
that was a
prop.
real baby.
That was a Henson creation, and that's
Yeah.
better than a real baby. But
That's true.
yeah, I mean, I would never wish a Henson creation to be burned, but that baby needs to be.
It's
Wow.
the exception that
And
proves
then it
the
turned
rule.
into an adorable pig. I loved it.
That was
But no,
great.
to speak to the whole through line of the singing thing, I was reflecting on that earlier in advance of this because that was one of the main things I wanted to talk about was people's thoughts on that as a narrative device, and I like it for the following reason. Because I think with Alice in Wonderland, it's so episodic and it's so nonsensical. Like it's utter nonsense, as we've
Utter
said.
nonsense.
Yeah, utter nonsense, as we've said previously. And I think in Alice adaptations, for me and for my money and attention, I want that to be honored. But if you're doing a feature-length film, I think there still needs to be some kind of seed of a through line to link everything together. So the presence of that, I liked how it culminated in having some kind of purpose, effective or not, in her having to speak in court to affect some kind of positive change to like save Jack from a death worse than fate, as they say. So yes, for that reason, I like that it gave the stupidity of Wonderland a little bit of purpose, building towards something, even though it was in the grand scheme of life, nothing, because it was just her having to get over stage fright. And kind of related or not related to that, like I just keep thinking back to what Jeanette pointed out last week about how Alice in Wonderland is like the only child's fairy tale comparative to the siblings in Peter Pan. And that's totally the vibe that I got in the opening when she's like the only kid at this huge party and then having to overcome that. And that's what her journey is. So I don't know. I loved it. But Jeanette, what did you think about the through line, the singing thing?
I personally, so the singing thing didn't make sense to me because it didn't feel like a through line to me. Like, I felt like this was the most disjointed version of Alice in Wonderland I'd ever seen. That I felt like it was literally just a bunch of different scenes, other than the ones that involved the Queen because they had a callback to a previous scene. So that was one of the major things I didn't like about the movie, was that I felt like it was extremely disjointed and very sectioned and punctuated. I mean, I don't know when we'll get to it, but the dress was yellow, people, and that was I didn't care for that.
You won't stand for that.
You didn't like Yellow Dress Alice?
First of all, yellow is like my least favorite color. Second of all, no, I don't like the yellow dress on Alice at all. I think it's a horrible idea.
Put aside my dislike for yellow. Nothing to do with that point.
You know, I was thinking about this, that like the ballet, she wears purple and it's like, oh, it's purple. Or I saw a stage production where it's pink and you're like, oh, Alice in pink. But we all agree on the hairband.
Yeah, I
You know
agree.
what I mean?
Like, yes or no?
Nobody's been so bold as to get rid of the dinky little hairband with the bow.
No,
that
yeah,
is
you're right.
that
you
is
need
an
that,
Alice,
and she needs the Mary Jane.
rule breaker.
And she needs the
And
what?
the Mary Jane, the Mary
Are those
Jane,
shoes?
the shoes.
Oh, okay.
No, I've seen that rule broken, especially
Yeah,
in the ballet.
I don't care for that either. Well, it's a ballet. You gotta
Oh.
do that.
No.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't know. I like the yellow, but I have the bias of just loving this movie. But I don't know. I feel like Alice is commonly associated with blue, and we could probably blame Disney on that, I would think. Or Wizard of Oz, because that archetype is kind of always associated with blue, I feel. Like Belle or whatever. So yeah, I don't know. I like the yellow, or at the least I don't mind it, especially compared to the 85 TV movie where it's orange and it's hideous, paired with like the worst wig in the world. Let me see if I can find it.
I don't care for any of what you're talking about right now.
So like, is
She
your
only wants the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Hold on, let me find Alice in Wonderland.
Everybody
1984.
pause, go watch League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, come back.
Soon.
Oh,
I'm gonna watch it again like tonight.
you gotta read the books and understand why.
I read the graphic novels.
You read the graphic novel and you like the movie?
Yeah. I don't mind it. I mean, it's for the time period.
I say this as someone who likes the movie more than most people. But
Yeah. Oh, I mean,
it's
I
got
like
so
the
many
movie
issues.
a lot. Me and my friends did a tabletop role play game about that.
Yeah, look at that.
Cool.
Look how bad.
But she's got the
I mean,
hair
she's
Wait,
band.
wait, you're saying
adorable.
the
She
wig
does
is
look
bad?
like Alice. She does look like Alice, but
Yeah.
I mean, what? That's the 70s.
It's 85.
Oh, yeah. That dress looks very
Yeah.
like 75.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
You don't like the dress.
Like orange,
I guess-
it's a brand new thing. We love it.
And the
We're gonna
wig.
get on board with
The
orange.
wig is so unnecessary. But
She looks like a tiny Florence Pugh.
oh, maybe. She's actually the kid who voices the girl in Oliver and Company, Jenny.
I was just
Is that her name?
about to say
that
either the girl in
actress.
Oliver and Company or the girl in The Rescuers. I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So dress aside, let's talk about this Alice, the actress, Tina What's-Her-Face from Waterworld. Like, how did people
Tina
feel about
Majorino,
her?
right?
Yeah, that's it, Majorino.
Oh, I like
And-
Waterworld a lot more than this movie.
Oh yeah.
I almost
Correct.
messaged her on Instagram to see if she would come on the show, but I didn't.
Oh, I really like Waterworld.
Correct me if I'm
Waterworld.
wrong. She's also from Karina, right?
Sure. I think she's she's done a
is she
lot.
Napoleon Dynamite's girlfriend?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, she is.
Yeah.
Tina, I'm pretty sure I loved Karina when I was a kid.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
Karina.
Yeah.
Oh, Andre? Is she the main girl in Andre with the seal?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she is. She's the girl in
Wow.
Andre. She's been in Grey's Anatomy since I don't know when, but for a while. Yeah,
Mhm.
done a lot of it.
Yeah.
So how do we feel about Tina? I mean, it's no surprise. I love most things about this movie, and I love her as Alice. I think she's the perfect age for Alice. Like, she's not too young, but she's not too old that it's ridiculous.
Pre-adolescent, which is
Yeah.
a perfect age for an Alice character. Someone who's curious and obviously growing, but
Mhm.
isn't anywhere near grown.
Well, and who has the pressure of acting like a grown-up, maybe too.
Mhm.
I think, at least in this case with the party, it seems to be like you have
That
to do
party
a
scene
thing where you get
stresses
up
me
and-
out.
She's very posh, like Alice should be, and has that posh.
Yeah.
I do feel like
accent.
she's about as dry as a cracker, though. I mean,
I think she.
That
I was very bored with her in particular.
Yeah.
I didn't. Yeah,
I
I thought.
typically like her too, and these other things we're talking about. So I don't have a distaste for her as an actress, but I just
Yeah, and I didn't dislike
dry
her.
presentation.
Yeah, I didn't. There was something weird where like I appreciated, like, I didn't see a bad actress, but like just the character for whatever reason. Like it was like they were trying to take. One of my thoughts was they were trying to recreate the Disney film with the character, and it didn't translate. So I saw a bunch of like faces that I could picture the cartoon Alice making, and like there was a seriousness and a dryness that really worked for the animated character for me. And then all her like giggles and laughs and stuff, I thought like pretty much every single one seemed very put on to me and fake. Like at least the initiation of it, like it you know, it always turn into a relatively genuine looking laugh or something, but like just like going from like like that was happening all the time for me. Just like dead face into this, you know, spontaneous like laughter that anyway, yeah. So I was personally very bored
Offended.
with Alice. I wasn't offended. I was bored. Yeah, I was bored. And
No,
then,
I'm offended on Tina's behalf.
That's what I would hope. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think the reason I like her is I think it's a good performance. I don't think she's a bad actor by any means. In fact, I think she's a very good actor, especially considering that she's like essentially carrying the movie and knowing that like in real life she's probably acting opposite nothing, because that was something that I was more aware of in watching this was how fragmented certain scenes felt, whether that was a byproduct of the effects or actor availability. But there were certain shots and certain scenes where I was just very aware of like 95% sure she's acting to nothing right now. And it's not by any merit of the performance she was giving, just practically watching how the movie was cut together. That's the impression that I got. And I feel that she kind of was the glue that made it work for me. And especially for how ridiculous all the celebrity actors are and the characters are, I feel like she's necessarily being that dry to keep everything kind of a little bit grounded. A little bit. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah. What do you think, Kristen? Are you pro Tina?
Yeah, I am. I mean, I think it's important to remember, however old she was, she's American, so she's doing a pretty good accent, I'm going to say. You know, I think it's a pretty nuanced English accent for a child actor.
It is. I really wouldn't have questioned it. I didn't even think about it till you just said it.
Yeah. So I think, like, you know, I think there's that. I'm trying to remember her past performances, like at least what I remember of Karina. She's so like, oh no, I'm here for you, Tina. I love you.
I love you, Tina. I don't know if this is a joke because I'm not sure who Wasted Poe is, and I'm hoping it's actually Tina.
Wasted Poe would have to have access to that information, like that knowledge. So dubious.
Yeah, I think that she, I don't know, my memory of her and Karina was that it was a really, again, a nuanced performance, really like emotional, but she had to be bratty. She had to be a kid who, like, you know, you understand that she's a complete nightmare. She's not fun to be around. She's not capable of being nice right now because she's in deep grief. To make a child do that, and I think she really nails it. And in this, I kind of feel a little bit similarly. I think she's got a very, like, she's good at being annoyingly bratty, but there's like there's more going on behind it. That's what I think. And that's a subtlety that I don't see in a ton of child performances, I think. Yeah, so I like her.
I feel like Jeanette has something to say.
No.
Oh, okay.
I was leaning in. I was listening. No, I was thinking like so I said before, like, I don't think there's any bad actors in this movie. And I do think that the way that they had to shoot it, because they wanted to put so much bad CGI in it, they needed to make it disjointed. And I think some people's performances suffered because of it and others didn't, because they're just potentially strong. She's a child actor, so I mean, whatever. I think she's a good actress. The other things I've seen her in, I think she's great in, like Napoleon Dynamite. I think she's amazing.
Realizing now I've seen none of her other movies aside from like part of Waterworld.
You've never seen Napoleon Dynamite?
No,
I need to
it looked
see
annoying.
Waterworld still. I think I'll love it. I think I'm gonna love Waterworld. I better watch it.
I don't know why in my head I just
Waterworld
assumed you
is
do love Waterworld.
Every
What's
bit
that,
as good
Matt?
as League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Yeah. No, I just said I don't know
Maybe
why.
has to be better, Jeanette. It's
Maybe
got to
better.
be better than League of Extraordinary
Yeah.
Gentlemen.
I mean, I
Speaking
feel
as
like
a relative fan of that movie.
yeah. Yeah.
You know who I love in this movie? It's the Frog Butler. I think his performance is
I
somehow
love the-
standout.
Oh, the guy outside of the door.
Is he
outside
the
of
one
house?
who
Yeah.
brings the invitation or the one who receives the invitation? The one who's like sitting in the chair and says, they're making so much noise they can't hear you?
Yes, that one.
Yeah.
Yes. I texted Alex whilst watching the movie last night and said, the Frog Butler is you. He reminded me very much of Alex's dryness and sensibility.
I
I'm
agree.
trying to find his name. He was in a bunch of really interesting. I think he was in Orlando with Tilda Swinton. I could be wrong. He was like really
Like
great.
going to
They're
Disney
all
World?
like great British actors.
Like they went on a trip?
Actors. What's that?
They went on a trip to Disney?
In Orlando.
Orlando.
The
He was in
movie
Orlando.
Orlando.
Oh, not aware. Not familiar. But yes, knock, knock.
Go watch
This way
Orlando.
out. Well, yeah, that was something I wanted to touch on next, since we talked about Tina as Alice. Who was everyone's favorite? Actually, this is going to be a two-part question. So the first part is going to be, who was everybody's favorite side character performance in the realm of like Frog Butler? Like not
The Queen.
Why is this light keep going out? Yeah, so not
Yeah,
like
what's
one of the
too
more
big a character?
recognizable celebrities. Not one of like the
Not Ben
above
Kingsley?
the line. Yeah, no one that you know the name of. Who was your
Okay.
favorite side character that it's not an
Wait a
actor
minute, but
you
what about
recognize?
Christopher Lloyd?
He doesn't count.
Okay.
That's the next question.
I mean,
the follow-up question is, who is your favorite celebrity
Okay.
in the movie? But we'll get to that. Favorite side character, like the Frog Butler. My answer is the Frog Butler. Jeanette, how about you?
Mine is, I don't know how else. He's the carpenter. It's the guy that plays the carpenter.
Okay.
Who
Like
was
the
in
Cowardly
James and the
Legs?
Giant Peach.
Oh.
Yeah, Pete Postlethwaite.
Yeah, he's
Oh.
amazing. And I always like him when he's in things that have to do with children's tales. I think he adds an element of like authenticity and eeriness and like and the Walrus and the Carpenter. Here's a little FYI about my Alice fandom. As far as the book and the Disney movie are concerned, the Walrus and the Carpenter is my favorite part of Alice in Wonderland, which is interesting because it's the part with the least Alice in it, and I love Alice, so I don't know why that's my favorite part. So I would say him. Yeah, I don't know. I really love it, especially in the Disney movie. And then it was really great in this. This part was amazing. And then I think my favorite celebrity in this, it is hard to judge between Miranda and Martin, but it's probably going to be Miranda in this one. Just her queen makes up for a multitude of sins that are occurring elsewhere on the screen in this movie. Her queen is fantastic.
I want to talk about the sins. We'll get there. We'll get savage. Alex, no, you'll go last. Kristen,
why is Kathy Bates credited in this movie?
I don't know. I think it's conflating it with
You're looking
another...
at. I know what you're looking at.
What
You're
is
looking at. There's another TV movie where she's the Queen of Hearts.
Oh, I would love that.
But it's in the same grouping because I'm looking at the 99 one.
Yeah, no, but you're looking on the Google homepage, right?
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
No,
they
that
messed this
mixed
up.
it.
Yeah,
That mixed
they
things up.
conflated it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, if you added another Alice, I would pitch that, but it's really long. I think it's like at least two 2-hour sessions.
That's
or
what this one.
I mean, this
it's
one
like 4
was-
hours.
Oh,
I don't know.
2
It's
hours,
pretty.
okay.
It's pretty long.
Oh my!
Yeah,
Wait, is this the
Sci-Fi
modern?
Alice.
Is this the one that's like modern day Alice? And
and I think it was shot in Toronto or something, or
It
at
was
least
shot
in
in
Canada,
BC.
because there are a lot of Canadian actors, like in little bit parts, not even bit parts, like good parts. But
I discovered this one today
fun.
online, and it's
Fun.
directed by the same guy who directed this movie.
It's not perfect.
Oh.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
This movie.
Yeah, the one we watched for this show, it's the same director.
Interesting.
And-
You're kidding
yeah.
me.
No,
That makes a ton of sense to me, especially with the White Knight. Matt Frewer, who is one of my favorite B movie actors, is the knight, and he's designed very similarly to Christopher Lloyd. So I thought to myself, like, that's a really close kind of White Knight there. Anyway, that's a fun album.
let's add. Well,
It's
I might also add
not
Adventures
perfect.
in Wonderland, the Disney Channel TV series, because
Also
love it.
scares me.
it's so good though. But yes. So yeah, Kristen, favorite unknown actor or non-celebrity and favorite celebrity.
Well, is Jason? How do we feel about Jason Fleming? Is he a celebrity or a B actor? I'm lost on this now.
he could be your answer for both if you want.
Because the Frog Butler, I'm gonna say I can't think of that guy's name, but like he was a big actor in England. He just probably his time was a little bit before this. So I'm like, I don't know, is he a celebrity or not? Frog Butler, really good. I like the little bit where he goes off about maybe I'll go for a day, maybe I'll leave for 2 days, maybe I'll go for 2 weeks, and then I'll come back by popular demand. Like all he does is nothing. And while they fight inside him, he's fun. He's very fun. Jason Fleming is the knave, though. He's really it's such a serve. Like he's got his little wig, he's got this cute little hat, and
he's constantly posing
he's always,
like the
doing
card.
these poses.
Yeah, that was my
Putting
favorite when you do the the
yeah.
arm up. I was like, oh my god, and those sleeves with it's great.
I think I just want to see that movie where he ate the tarts and had to deal with it or something. It's a fun one.
And he would not do it
keep to the
again.
3. So those 3.
Alex, favorite non-celebrity and favorite celebrity.
Well, probably I would agree with Jason Fleming. Is that what he is? Yeah.
Yeah.
And if not, I do Pete Postlethwaite. And celebrity, the Queen, Miranda Richardson.
Good job. Yeah. I mean, I'll just throw some love towards Martin Short because I think he was hilarious. And it was just such a wonderful marriage, I feel, of like character and his comedic sensibility. It was so, I adore it. And
I really like the hair too.
Archie's wooden leg. Oh yeah, the hair. I love the hair.
That hair was jarring and disconcerting.
Yeah, I
and
agree.
It didn't make me feel safe.
That's what I love about it.
I also don't like that there's
The
sometimes where
proportions were.
he says things and you don't know what he said because I don't know if it's because of the mouth on the creature or the actor, but he'll be like, that's it. I'm like, what did he say? I don't like it. I don't like
He said, I say. And Martin Short just acts opposite that monstrosity of a puppet so well.
It's so scary.
I also
I'm
adore
a
that
poor
shot.
man. I'm a poor man.
A poor man.
Everything he does, it's so funny. And the shot at the beginning when he, like, his friend has the bread and he's making himself a rabbit, it's so good.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
The Wizard of Oz shot, I love that shot because you just get to see the entire. It was probably the only time all of those people were together. It was great.
Oh,
yeah.
Jason.
Well, the end as
hang
well.
on, the cat's about to eat Doritos. Hang on.
Okay. Oh, let's talk about the cat.
Oh yeah.
Why did we think of Whoopi
Why was
Goldberg?
the cat? Why was the cat? No. Hold on. I got a different cat to talk about real quick.
The opening
I'll talk about
cat,
all
right?
the cats.
Let's talk
That
about the
cute cat
fact
that
that
was
why
playing
is
with
Dinah there in the beginning and then there's a freaking dog in the last scene? What is that
Oh,
about?
that was just a wild dog. It was just a wild
Magic.
Where did Dinah go?
Weirdness.
Did she come back to some other multiverse where she now has a dog?
Well,
instead
Dinah
of
was
a
only in the
cat?
house.
Yeah,
but
Dinah was in the
We don't
house.
see the dog in the house, do we?
Now, well, I mean, my
Right.
thought is,
And back then, outdoor cats weren't a thing.
no, I
No,
think
vice versa. What are you talking about?
Outdoor dogs weren't a thing.
isn't there a dog in the book? Because I think the dog is only there to justify why there's a giant dog chasing her when she's tiny.
Oh. I
So
don't
I
know.
think
I don't
Because that's the
remember
first time
that
we
much
see the
about it.
dog. Yeah.
It just seemed like she went into the Wonderland, right? Like, or am I getting last week confused? I don't know. I just know that she has a cat usually at the beginning of the story, and then
there was
she
a dog.
came out of it. There was a dog, and I was like, "Why is there a dog?"
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah. Well,
But the dog,
my thought was like, there's random wild mangy stray dog, and then there's Dinah the house cat, and in Wonderland, Dinah the house cat gets upgraded to Whoopi Goldberg, but stupid dog just stays a stupid dog.
No, but Whoopi Gold. Well, I don't know, maybe, but yeah, but Cheshire Cat doesn't take like at the end. That's not Dinah.
It could be.
Well, but Dinah doesn't look like that. We already saw Dinah.
No,
Dinah has a different body, different fur.
Still a
But it
great
could
cat. Still a great cat.
I
What
don't
did
know,
everyone
but
think? What did everyone
Whoopi
think about the
Goldberg-
Cheshire Cat? I love her.
I didn't
Whoopi
care for her.
Goldberg was great, but again, and she might suffer from it worse than anybody else. Like to be trapped inside whatever
I mean,
possession is taking place to create that thing. Poor Whoopi.
I think it was hilarious having her fucking like her
Don't
giant,
swear on my show.
her giant white smile just like existing for most of like the scenes and not doing anything, just a static like Whoopi Goldberg. Like,
Imagine how much
giant
she got
smile
paid
cat.
just to smile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine how much
CGI.
all these people got paid. So many,
I feel
strong
like
B-listers.
all the B-listers probably got paid the same for, I would wager, 2 to 3 days of work as Tina got paid for the whole thing. That's my guess.
It did just occur to me in a similar vein to the Martin Short Miranda Richardson relationship that Whoopi Goldberg and Tina Majorino, Karina.
So Whoopi, I've never heard of this Karina movie.
Ray Liotta and Whoopi Goldberg.
What?
It's
No,
amazing.
I've never
It's
heard
amazing.
of it either. I'll have to watch it. I love Ray Liotta. I love Whoopi Goldberg.
Oh,
too.
it's been a long time. It was one of my favorites as a kid. So, I'd have to give it a rewatch, but it was a great it's a great movie. She's yeah. But they were in it together. I'm like, that must have been really sweet. I mean, I don't think they were ever on set together. Now, watching the movie as a grown up, I was like, they probably were never in the same room together shooting this. But actually, if they were, I like to imagine that it was a nice reunion because she probably hadn't seen Tina since she was a teeny tiny girl. I don't know.
And she was a teeny tiny Tina?
A teeny tiny Tina. Yeah.
There's some really fun pictures of Whoopi Goldberg shooting this where she has the cat makeup on and then she just wrapped in a blue blanket because it's all blue screen. And like the cat makeup is so intricate and looks exactly like it does on screen, but then it just like blue cape. It's hilarious.
That was makeup?
Yeah.
That looked like Whoopi's face was CGI.
It did, but no, hold on.
No, yeah.
I got photos. I actually almost posted them in our group for fun, but then I was like, well, this only applies to like 4 people, but
you know what it gave me?
There we go.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the face. That's the face.
And they didn't change much from then to whenever they put out that horrible Cats movie.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, don't talk about cats like that.
Oh yeah, you like cats.
Yeah. You know what the Whoopi Goldberg thing gave me though, and I was like, wait, they didn't shoot it like this, but it gave me the vibes of the singing busts on the Haunted Mansion because where like they can't move anything except
just
their
a face
eyes and their
floating
mouth.
on a thing. Yeah.
And I was like, but they didn't. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that like her head is free. Like, I don't know, but for some reason it read like that to me. And then I realized that's not how they did this.
Although I wouldn't be surprised if she had limited mobility because they would have had to match it to the puppet body. Would be my thought. So even though
that's true,
it was still
anytime she's like, it's over there, she has to be like.
Well, the effect, I think the effect is also.
I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like, but I feel like that would be like I feel like it worked, or at least it was intentional. Personally, like I feel like it was less a matter of like the logistics or practicality of, set how it like it looked aesthetically, and more so like have the Cheshire Cat be this like weird, mischievous like thing that it's mad. So yes, of course, it's not just going to do the normal thing of like look over there. It's going to do this like woohoo thing. So, and I feel like the movie, like at least the Disney movie, I feel like the Cheshire Cat was mostly similar in terms of when it pointed, it wasn't
forward
like
at all times.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Ex-Catly. Oh, I found another one. They're putting makeup on the cat.
Oh my gosh!
I love this.
That's not the.
Yes, it is. It is. Although I am still kind of weirded out by Martin Short's head being as big as it is.
It does look very much like those old drawings of the Mad Hatter.
Yeah, and I also thought that it was very indicative of, if you remember at that time period, especially in like girls' fashion ads, like the Steve Madden advertisements, like this whole like tiny body, big head thing was very in at the time. More than just that, like I think Lucky Brand did it, Hard Candy did it, like they all had these like bubble head, and I felt like a lot of stuff in this movie looked like that. It was very like a very in look at the time.
Cat.
Kitty butts.
I don't remember that, but now I feel like I do.
No, I think I know what you mean. It feels like Angela Anaconda business.
Yes.
Kind of like, or it's not the same thing, but it reminds me of, and this might just be a Canadian thing, those Yoplait commercials.
Give me Yope,
yeah. I don't know. What? It was all about like really exaggerate, like because their mouths were big and their eyes were big. And I remember Archie comic ads with like big head, little. I know what you're talking about, and I can't quite describe it, but I'm like, I think I understand the aesthetic.
Yeah, so I feel like that was
off-putting.
It is. It's a little weird, especially when it moves. Like in a still ad, it looks kind of cool, but then like when it moves, it's very disjointing.
Yeah.
So there's so many thoughts on this movie. I want to know what everyone's favorite and least favorite part was. Part can either be moment, it can be element. Like least favorite part was the CGI. Yeah. I want to know. Can you show me? I want to know about the strangers like me. Tell me more. I don't know what mine would be. I think my favorite part was the pacing overall. I like of the like not of the whole movie, but the little moments, the pacing of the little moments of, especially in the Mad Tea Party scene, of just all the action that's happening relatively quickly in relation to itself, alongside like pretty snappy dialogue. The pacing in a small sense, I really enjoy. And then least favorite thing would be, I guess the very dated CGI. Yeah, there it is. Jeanette.
I mean, I'll skip saying the CGI was my least favorite. I think my other least favorite thing is the movie feels disjointed to me. Like it just does feel like it's just the scenes from the book, and we're gonna do all the scenes, and it feels like Alice just kind of comes in and out of each scene. She doesn't, other than the Queen scene, I don't feel like she interacts a lot with what's going on. And I don't know. I missed a lot of that. But and then my favorite thing is the acting. The acting is what makes this movie watchable, in my opinion.
All right, Alex.
I wrote down once, as I am loath to do, or no, not as I'm loath to do, as I'm want to do rather. I wrote down in my notes that when Martin Short appeared was the first like time I was engaged up in that film. Like that's when I was like, oh, okay, I can actually like enjoy like the experience of watching this movie right now, as opposed to just like forcing myself to stare and then think about this nonsense. But but that I wouldn't say that was my like ultimately the Queen ended up being sort of my favorite performance. So once I overall if I had to pick one moment, I would pick probably just like the Queen, and specifically like I really was tickled when she was sitting on the ground saying off with everyone's head. Like that was one of the most tickling moments. So I'll pick that one. And then least favorite. Well, there was, like kind of on a general note, like what you were saying, Jeanette, where like Alice was just coming in and out of scenes. Like I felt like Alice's character I really didn't feel any like kind of growth or any like her being affected by what was going on. She just, every time she entered a new scene, it felt like it was basically like she was coming in as a blank slate rather than taking on board what had happened to her previously.
Yeah.
And like the first moment that kind of really struck me was early on when Alice got shrunk, and she like and this is like a director / like storytelling thing, but like her character, like she drinks the liquid and then she gets shrunk down, and then like and then she immediately just jumps to the like, oh no, like I can't reach the key now, what am I going to do? Like she literally says like, what am I to do? I can't do the reach the key, as opposed to like, oh my god, I'm tiny, yay, running around. And even I think even the Disney one where it has Alice, like when she first gets shrunk, she starts like trying to climb the thing.
Yeah.
Like And even that, of course, she's trying to climb to get the key. But even that, like seeing her anyway, but all of and there's an argument to be said, like Wonderland's this dreamlike thing, and when you're dreaming,
but
you don't
feel like we've
think about
seen
things.
And commented on that in the previous movies where like it's just this thing, weird or not, about Alice where she just kind of accepts all the stuff as it happens, and then
but in the animated film she like, well, at the very least there's more dimension, I find, funnily enough to say that. Like, you know, I remember making the point of saying how in the animated film, like there were like my big criticism of Alice in the animated film was that she seemed too much like an adult and not like a little kid to me, and but not that she was like too bland or that she didn't react appropriately across the board. I may have criticized that moment each time, but not necessarily across the board. Whereas this Alice was just to me, one note throughout the entire film. And even this point of like her being like, I don't want to go, but I don't want to leave Wonderland, but because I don't want to do the singing thing. Like even that was kind of a little, it didn't hit me the way I think the movie wanted it to hit me. Like I kind of felt like I didn't buy it. I was like, what are you talking about? Like you don't seem like somebody who you seem like every other Alice. Like you seem like you're at the point now where you do want to go. Like you seem like you aren't really being entertained by your Wonderland experience anymore. And I get you're saying that you don't want to go because you're afraid of what you're going to do in the real world. But just, that was kind of not sold to me personally.
That's it. Well, I'm just realizing now that's interesting. That it's interesting that in this movie, her whole thing is that she doesn't want to go home, like you said, but it feels like in all the other ones, it's I want to go home quest. And then it's just about her decidedly trying to distract herself, I think, for as long as possible to avoid the singing thing, which is just, it's not a thing I realized until right now, listening to you talk, but I feel like that's something of note that they almost could have done more with, but it's just kind of there and not made a point of. But with every new encounter, she's just delaying the inevitable of having to sing a death worse than fate.
Yeah.
As it were. So you've just made me like it more, Alex, because it inverts the convention. And I like that.
Doesn't do it well though. The idea is nice.
The idea is nice. The idea is good.
But the execution.
It even justifies with the rabbit saying, now you don't need us anymore because you're not afraid.
On the nose. Yeah.
The rabbit nose.
That was a little. I did find that a little bit like, oh, isn't that all wrapped up?
Are you saying you're confident now, Alice? Yes, I'm confident. Then you do.
I have confidence.
I am now confident.
And then they fade away.
Yeah.
And then the apple comes back.
That was the point.
The apple.
The obelisk from 2001 comes back.
Kristen, how about you?
Yeah, well, on that note, it's interesting that we're talking about this because I think that there is a through line that is much better that the director or whoever was like, it's actually not about that. Like they introduced, I think, a concept that was better in my opinion. And I think you both just touched on it, which is from the beginning, she's trying to escape the boring grown-up situation where she has to sing what is probably my least favorite thing about the movie, which is the song Cherry Ripe. I think it's just, I'm like, I get it. It's a horrible song.
I thought it was nice.
Whatever.
I never heard it before, so Cherry Ripe.
It's my favorite song. But so she wants to escape this party where she doesn't want to do something that they're going to make her do, which is a very adult thing. Like you have to do things you don't want to do sometimes, and you have blah blah blah. So she escapes and she keeps saying, "I want to get to the beautiful garden. I want to get to the beautiful garden," and that's what she's asking for help with people. Like she isn't saying, "I'm trying to get home." She says, "I'm trying to get to the pretty garden." I'm like, that's kind of. It reminds me of this episode of Frasier where I'm on a big Frasier kick lately, where Niles and Frasier go to a spa and they keep seeing a door for a better, more exclusive spa, and they can't ever get to the nice spa. And I'm like, it's a beautiful metaphor for humanity that you're not happy that you're in this magic world with talking rabbits and cats and flowers that sing and all this stuff. She's like, I'm actually trying to get to this better place. And they're like, and then when she asks them for help, they're entirely ambivalent and unhelpful, as people are in life. You go through your life and everybody's wrapped up in their own silly thing, like the Pepper Baby situation or the Tea Party. You're like, everybody's stuck in their petty little business that nobody's helping her. But the lesson then, I'm like, okay, so she learns to just make it what she wants it to be, or she learns to go through and be like, this is what I want to do, or I've decided I'm doing this. And she sort of puts her foot down more and more as the movie goes on. Or like the courtroom where she's like, actually, this is wrong. And I feel like I can talk about it now, because she's learning more and more what she likes and believes in and where she wants to go, and is learning that nobody's going to help you get there. You're going to have to just figure it out because the world's anarchy. Like, that's what I think the message is. And I like that. I just think that the performance anxiety thing and the lack of confidence, I'm like, that's not the issue. The issue is she's expecting someone to rescue her or help her get to a place that may or may not be real or worth it, you know? And in the meantime, she's missing the other adventures or whatever. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. Like, I wish they fleshed these thoughts out more, because that's more interesting to me than I don't want to sing Cherry Ripe, so I'm going to sing this song. I'm like, great, you solved that problem.
Well, I think even just the action
with, like,
of her.
Real issue. Wait till you try to buy a house, or like, you know. Wait till you encounter death. Like, you know.
Time and place, she probably would have been able to buy a house like 2 years later.
Yeah.
They were just giving away houses then. Just like, that one's empty. Just take it. Just take it.
I mean,
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, like her family seems very, very wealthy, so I'm sure like housing isn't going to be what.
Well, they were making her perform when she didn't want to. They seem like the type of parents that would say, "Alice, you need to marry rich because we're not going to support you."
It's gonna be an Ashton Kutcher, Mila Kunis. We're not going to give her any of it.
I just described next week's movie.
Did you?
With Grown Up Alice, where they're like, "You need to marry." She's like, "No, I don't. I'm going to Wonderland."
Yeah, that movie.
That's next week. I haven't seen it in a long time, and I think I'm gonna hate it. We'll see.
Yeah.
Hopefully
I'm talking. I forgot I was muted. I said I get to be the odd one out next week.
Do you like it?
We'll see.
We'll see.
I like Elements. I do like Elements.
It's the Tim Burton one, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
Oh yeah. That's what we have forward to look to next week. It's no Whoopi Goldberg cat movie. So,
nope, not.
So there we are. I know, Kristen, I think you made me like the movie even more with your reading of it. No, I think there are seeds of something that work there.
The Disney movie does it better.
Well, yes. I think the Disney movie is kind of the ultimate. Or what do you think?
No.
Kristen, what do you think of the Disney cartoon?
I'm not a fan.
What?
No.
Tell me more.
You think this movie's better? Okay.
I don't know. It's not my favorite Disney movie. I like the music. I do like the music, and it's obviously beautiful. It's not one that ever meant anything to me as a Disney movie. And I've gone back and tried to watch it. I feel like it's kind of boring. It's dark, and I don't mean dark like the themes are dark. Like, it just seems gloomy to me. And I don't quite know what the message is. Like, in this one, I'm like, I could read all that, but in the Disney one, in the animated one, I don't know. Like you said, it's just like she's trying to get home and she's frustrated because everybody's bonkers, and it just feels like a flimsy premise. I don't know. Yeah. I'm sure if I watched it again, I'd notice more that.
I felt rewatching it for this marathon, and I think it was the first time I'd watched it as an adult for the most part. I just I was taken by how much I liked it, which I didn't expect to, because it is what it is. It's just scene to scene to scene to scene. Each one has a very distinct visual look, and the character design is really good. And I think just the nature of the material is so fragmented anyway that in the context of a Disney animated movie, it was perfect because it just looked really pretty and it was quirky and fun. And and I think that's the thing with Alice adaptations overall, is that you have to work with a very disjointed text, as it were. So, like, as we established, this is a very disjointed movie, the one that we watched for this week. And that's something that I enjoy about it. Like, I think isolated, each individual scene is really good. Like, I like the way that each character is interpreted in terms of, for the most part, costume design, minus the turtle costume. Like, I'll concede that the turtle costume is terrible, but it's Gene Wilder, so I still like it. Underused, yes, but I'll take Willy Wonka in any capacity. I think the humor is there. The performances are good. So if I just watch like each interaction as a mini movie on its own, I thoroughly enjoy this film. And then having a little bit of a seed of something for me who's looking for a narrative purpose to latch onto, even if it's as weak as she had to overcome stage fright. Like, there it is.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I like the framing, the beginning and end framing device of the party. I think that that was cool.
The party scene actually gives me minor anxiety. Just seeing a scenario of like you're the only child, and then there's all these adults, and then the parents are like, "Go, interact with them, perform for them, monkey." I never had to perform at parties, but wait, did I? No, I didn't. But still, the setup stressful.
Yeah.
So there we are.
I also like how the Duchess refers to Alice as "you
Old thing.
Oh, that tickled me a lot. She's calling.
I love that she.
Yeah, you're a wise old thing.
Yeah, I
So
like.
good to see you. And is that the same lady who in the opening is like really strict and saying you're singing Alice? We'll have none of that,
That's her
young lady.
music teacher or her like.
But it's not the same actor.
I don't think so.
She's there's like in the last scene you see the Duchess for a second. She's like an older
in the audience.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Not the same music lady.
You think of the governess, her governess.
Yes.
Probably.
See, I would have been happy if that was the same actor, but yeah, why did she float? That was weird.
It was like the woman in black all of a sudden. I was like, no. Why is she floating with her feet?
Who's ready for the game?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. Let me get a thing.
Oh, I didn't come up with a bonus question.
Where's the thing?
I will by the end of this. I don't know what it'll be. We'll see. So, for tonight's game, since this version is all about recitation and performing and whatever, I am going to give you a chunk of a poem or a song that is sung or recited either in this movie or in the Alice in Wonderland universe. Yeah, and you have to complete the sentence or complete the phrase.
Okay.
Yes. So, for example, if we were playing this with Disney songs, if I were to say, can you paint with all your answer would be Colors of the Wind. So you just have to finish the phrase and then you get the point.
Do we write it down?
Yes, please. Okay. Or you can perform it. Wait, write it down to prove that you wrote it down.
Okay.
But then when you deliver your answer, please perform.
All right.
Here we go. Okay. Here we go. Ahem. Feel free to play along in the chat too. First, you are old, Father William, the young man said, and your hair has become very white. And yet... Again, you are old, Father William, the young man said, and your hair has become very white. And yet, let me know when you have your answers.
This is so sad. It's like I can hear the lilt in my head, but I have no idea.
Let's start with Jeanette.
I literally have no idea. It's like I can hear it going in my head, but I have no idea like what that next thing is.
All right. Alex.
You are old, the young man said, hair has become white, and yet you are strong like a loaf of bread.
Okay.
And must wear
defend in the
socks
night.
on tight.
Okay. That's an answer. Kristen.
I think there's one word I don't know of, but I got you incessantly stand on your head. Do you think at your age this is right?
One of you got it. It was Alex. No, just kidding. You got it, Kristen.
It was the bread one.
The bread and the tight socks.
The bread.
It's the bread. Okay, next. Speak roughly to your little boy and... Speak roughly to your little boy and... Okay, we'll start with Kristen this time.
This is me. I drew a little picture of me being shocked.
Okay.
Beat him when he sneezes.
Okay. Alex?
Oh, I put beat him when he cries.
Okay.
Oh.
Jeanette?
And I beat him when he's bad.
We were looking for beat him when he sneezes. Kristen got the point.
Pepper.
Pepper. That's what it is. He
Well,
only
and that's
does
why
it to
it's
annoy.
horrible, because they're making him sneeze because of the pepper, and then they beat him when he sneezes.
Was he sneezing in the movie? Was that his Was that what he primarily was doing?
It was in the
And
song.
kill.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they turned into a pig.
Well, I remember
knew
the
it
pig.
would. I knew.
I just thought he was making like sounds like wham, wham.
Was doing a lot of things. Muppets make weird sounds. Next, Twinkle Twinkle Little Bat.
I think I have the wrong movie's interpretation of this song or whatever.
If the keywords are there. All right, we'll start with Jeanette this time. Oh no, my pencil broke. Do I have another writing utensil? Yeah, what do you
How I wonder where you're at.
All right, Alex.
Well, I'm still writing.
Okay, Kristen.
How I wonder what you're at.
Okay, Alex.
For the lols. How I wonder where your hat.
You are a hat. Not even just your hat. You're.
Oh,
I
that's true.
wonder
That's
where you are at.
You are a hat.
Well, I have how I wonder what you're at, but I'm going to give a point to both of you down there. You both get points.
That's
Wait,
a shame.
well, no, Jeanette's right. I wasn't sure if it was where or what.
No,
Oh,
in
wait.
this movie they say what you're at, but in I think
Oh,
it's
really?
the Disney one they say where you're at.
Oh, I already wrote your
Oh.
points down, so it's done.
Great. And just mention here, Twinkle Twinkle Little Bat is also the name of a delicious drink in Disney World right now. And you should
Where?
drink it.
Oh, at the
Cheshire Cafe. It's so
Hopefully,
good.
I'll get to drink it this year. We'll see. If I sell a lot of T-shirts, buy the T-shirts.
Buy the
See you at
T-shirts.
Disney World. Okay, next, the Queen of Hearts. She made some tarts, all on a summer's day.
Oh gosh.
Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba.
Oh, you were gonna let us say all on a summer's day. Now I don't know.
Oh, that would have been nicer. Oh well. Nothing in life is easy.
Yeah, thank you, Mary.
Speak roughly to your little boy.
Stop it.
It's so catchy.
Is
That's
it?
fine.
Is it though?
It's your show. You sing whatever you want.
Okay.
Not a very good song.
Will you walk a little faster? Said a whiting to a
That's my
snail.
favorite.
There's a porpoise right behind us,
Beautiful
and
soup.
he's
We haven't even
waiting
talked
on our
about
sail.
beautiful soup.
We can.
Oh my god.
Beautiful soup.
One of the weirdest songs I've ever heard.
I think about that when I make a good soup sometimes.
When I make soup, I kid you not, Kristen, I think of you singing the No Bones Day song that you wrote about making soup today.
Oh,
Yes.
that's so nice.
When I make soup, I hear like your soothing No Bones Day song in the back of my head.
We're having soup today.
Rest in peace to the No Bones dog. Now he literally is only bones because he's dead.
Noodles.
Noodles, rest in peace. Okay, Alex, what do you say? Queen of Hearts, she made some tarts all on a summer's day.
But then the Jack came round the back and had his nasty way.
Oh. His nasty way.
His
We're
nasty
not
way.
telling adult limericks, okay?
That's all I could think of.
I don't
Alex
care.
played his own game.
I don't care that it's wrong. I'm giving you a point. It's mostly pity, but also because you made me laugh. Okay, Jeanette.
I think I made this all up. But soon, alas, it came to pass they were stolen all away.
Oh, that's
Oh,
good.
pretty good.
Last came to pass
Good.
so long.
Kristen.
Oh no.
Okay, the knave of hearts, he stole those tarts, and all was disarray.
And took them all away was what we were looking for.
Oh.
So Alex gets the point just because it's utter nonsense.
Yes, the strong loaf of bread was
Bread. Nice socks.
Okay, next. The walrus and the carpenter were walking close at hand. Ba, 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 ba.
I love this part, and I can only do the Disney version. It's not the same.
Is it
Can
not?
you say the first part again for me?
Yeah. The walrus and the carpenter were walking close at hand. Da 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 is the rhyming scheme we're looking for.
Oh my god, I gotta think.
'Twas Bray Lake and oh, I'm singing Jabberwocky to the walrus and the carpenter song. Works though. The walrus and the carpenter were walking close at hand.
Yeah.
All right, let's start with Kristen.
They wept, of course, to see such quantities of sand. Such great quantities of sand.
You got the gist. We'll see how the others go. You might get the point. We'll see how. It depends on. We'll see. Jeanette.
The sun was shining on the sea.
Okay. Alex.
All right. They ate so many oysters that they snapped their elastic bands.
Ooh, good. No, Kristen gets the point. They wept like anything to see such quantities of sand. That's what we were looking for.
Got the gist.
Tweedledum and Tweedledee agreed to have a battle. For Tweedledum said Tweedledee. Ba 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 ba. I didn't even realize that these two had a rhyme about them. I thought Lewis Carroll made them up. Oh yeah, we didn't talk about Hagrid being in this movie because he's there.
I almost said he was my favorite one because I thought they were really fantastic. Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
I loved them.
Yeah, they were.
They're-
At least two Harry Potter actors, because isn't what's his
Miranda
face?
Richards.
Dumbledore's brother. Dumbledore's brother is the walrus, isn't he?
No.
He is?
No.
Oh no. Okay.
No.
The walrus
Dumbledore's
is Peter
brother.
Ustinov.
Oh.
You're thinking of Kieran Hines was Dumbledore's. What's his name? No.
Aberforth.
With the goo.
Yeah. That's Kieran Hines.
That's who I'm thinking of. Yeah.
But Miranda
Oh, I
Richardson,
thought he was.
Queen of
Yeah,
Hearts.
Miranda
She's Rita Skeeter.
I'm
Oh,
certain
okay.
Jason Fleming has been somewhere. in
Oh, I'm
there.
sure.
Right. He feels like it.
Oh no, there must be others that are in this movie. Oh, the Duchess. The Duchess is the fat lady in the painting.
Oh.
Yeah.
Opera lady.
But maybe in
In
the
one
one
and two.
where it's not Dawn French.
In the first two. She's
Because
they swapped her out for-
they changed it for Dawn French later, I think.
So she's less memorable. She's the less memorable one. All right. Oh yeah, Tweedledum and Tweedledee agreed to have a battle. For Tweedledum said Tweedledee. Jeanette.
Had stolen his prized rattle.
All right, Kristen.
You broke my precious rattle.
Okay, Alex.
You broke my wooden rattle.
I'll give all of you a point because you all said rattle. Had spoiled his nice new rattle.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice, guys.
Oh yeah, that was a plot point or whatever.
Yeah, they had a fight. Then the monster.
Like, I wouldn't have minded so much, except that it was brand new or whatever.
Yes, I was a Tweedle in Alice. I was Tweedledum in Alice in ... Good times.
Good casting.
Yeah, that was. Thank you. That was my
Welcome.
second show ever, and yeah, it was a
Wow.
really good cast. My the girl who was playing Alice's sister, Edith, who was the narrator in that production, is now at Stratford, and she is Maureen in Rent, which is exciting. So, go Erica Peck. We love her.
You
Oh,
light
nice.
my
Yes.
candle.
No. Next, Cherry Ripe.
Oh Lord. Really?
Looking this up, I discovered I've been singing the wrong lyrics to this song
It's
in my
the worst
head.
game ever, by the
Yeah,
way.
I have two. Can I give two answers? 'Cause
Sure.
it's
The
great.
worst.
This is the best game. This is like a classic Let's Annoy Morgan game.
Yeah, I think well, maybe I don't know.
All right. Kristen, let's start with you.
I feel like it's ripe.
Okay.
But
Cherry
then-
ripe, cherry ripe, 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 ripe.
Yeah, is it a cherry ripe, cherry ripe?
Oh yeah, Matt, you didn't give us the little. You didn't give us our usual
What?
so we know what we're answering.
Too
I
late.
could be wrong.
Do,
I did also
do,
put come and
do,
buy
do.
because that comes
Well, I
later.
didn't know that.
Cherry ripe, cherry ripe. Do, do, do,
Yeah,
do,
I needed that
do.
before. It's too late now.
Yeah, I've given my
So I
answer.
thought
What's
it was it's either ripe, ripe, ripe or come and buy, but I know come and buy comes later, so I think I'm off on all counts.
Okay. Alex?
I was like cherry ripe, how I love my cherry ripe.
That sounds like a commercial for a soda.
That's
Yeah.
Gotta have my cherry ripe.
Jeanette, how about you?
I said "come and buy" because that was the only other lyric that I could
Yeah.
remember.
According to Google, it is ripe, I cry.
I always heard it as ripe,
You
ripe.
change one
ripe.
letter in that sentence, and that is an entirely different story. I'm just saying.
Oh,
Jeanette,
She goes, I'm sorry. I'm like, that's such a weird lyric. Why
that's
does
like
that
an
sound
Alex
weird?
comment. Oh my god. I'll give all of you a point. Why not? There we go.
Yee.
Next. The sun was shining on the sea, shining with all his might. He did his very best to make the billows smooth and bright. And this was odd because it was
Oh,
da 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 da.
Yeah.
The sun was shining on the sea, shining with all his might.
See,
He
that's
did
the
his
part-
very best to make the billows smooth and bright. And this was odd because it was da 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 da. Let's start with Jeanette.
The middle of the night.
All right, Kristen.
The middle of the night.
Yes, Alex.
a dark and stormy night.
No,
gonna say
it
the
was the
middle of
middle of
July.
the night. Okay. Alex, you have 3.
Nice.
I don't know how, but you do. Jeanette, you have 4, and they're legit.
Okay.
Kristen, you have 7. How many points do we want to wager for the bonus round?
Oh,
All in.
Okay.
3
Although
points.
I know I can't possibly know it after 3 points.
3,
that is all
not
your
2,
points,
Alex?
isn't it?
Okay. You going all in?
Not. Oh shit. 2 points.
Don't swear on my show, but okay, 2.
Damn it.
I didn't.
All right. Here we go. Will you walk a little faster, said a whiting to a snail. Song is a bop. Will you walk a little faster, said a whiting to a snail. Bum 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 bum. Will you, won't you join the dance? It's my favorite song too. Maybe ever.
yeah, in the world.
Yes. Okay. Kristen.
There's a porpoise close behind us, and he's treading on my tail.
Oh, and we sang it. I love it. Alex?
For my pack is full of plaster and it's going to crush my tail.
Okay. That was an answer.
Dark.
Jeanette?
I just said da 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 treading on my tail.
It was Kristen got it. There's a porpoise and it's treading on my tail. See how eagerly the lobster
lobsters and the
and the
turtles
turtles
all
all
advance.
advance.
They are waiting on the jingles.
Will you come and join the dance? Do. Will you, won't you join the dance? Will you, won't you join the dance?
Will
you, won't you join the dance? And then, like,
wow.
classic TV movie, it ends on a freeze frame of the most
Right.
unflattering shot of her possible.
I know. I
Which
was
is
like,
like-
you couldn't have even had a non-blurry picture in like the last scene. I was like, that's how Sam Raimi ends a movie in 1981. You can't do that here.
I know, poor Tina.
Sam Raimi disagrees.
Okay. Any closing thoughts on this movie? Things that weren't addressed? What do we Yeah.
Oh, what fun. What whimsy.
I agree. I love this movie. This is my new favorite movie ever.
I'm looking forward to some Tim Burton weird stuff next week.
This channel has watched through almost the whole Tim Burton catalog.
And I'm here for it.
Yeah, I think all we have left is Edward Scissorhands we haven't done. Dark Shadows.
Oh,
I'll
God,
do the
hopefully
Dark
never.
Shadows one.
Is that another Miranda Richardson?
Bring
or is
me in,
that
Coach.
What's her face? Michelle Pfeiffer.
I think it's Michelle Pfeiffer.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Yeah, well,
I get the two confused quite a bit, which I guess says a lot about Miranda Richardson. I don't,
both icons.
Yeah.
So there we are. Yeah, Alex, closing thoughts.
Well, so
No, don't
What did
read.
I
Don't read the
say?
list. Just your
No.
your favorite
There-
closing thoughts.
Okay. Shout out to Alice randomly just deciding to invite the fully grown card men in her like kangaroo
And
pouch.
they never leave. You never see them leave, do you?
I don't
They still
know,
in there?
but I was just like, how the heck is Alice just like confident being like, hey, I know, like, yeah, this will clearly work. These fully grown people will just shrink when I offer my pouch. That's how this world works now. I've mastered. I'm Neo in the Matrix. I can see the code now. Like,
Honestly, that's kind of close to what I said the meaning is she learns to make the world what she wants it to be.
But
She's
is
like,
that-
yeah,
but is that
fully grown
continue?
men jump in my pocket.
Yeah, but does that continue? I don't think we see that like ever again. We don't see her understanding.
Cry,
the code.
pie, cry.
But anyway, otherwise, and then also I thought the like cloud monster thing, it wasn't a cloud monster, but like the
crow.
clouds, they looked like, the crow. It was like it was referential, like, or it made me think of James and the Giant Peach, Rhino.
Oh yeah.
And also the Nothing and Never
I
Ending
was going to
Story.
say the Nothing, the movie that we really need to do on here somehow.
Yeah.
I have not seen that movie. Maybe
That's
I
a
did
shame.
once as a kid. Yeah. Do we need to
Sir.
do that one?
Yeah.
We need to do that
Sir,
I'll do it.
I'm going to come to your house and we're going to duct tape you to a chair and hold your eyes open.
Yeah,
We're gonna
we'll duct tape
get
the
one? We're
eyes.
gonna Clockwork Orange me for Never Ending
Yes,
Story.
for Never Ending
Yeah.
Story.
I think the best thing about it is the song, in my opinion.
The Never Ending Story.
This is the song that never
Never
ends.
ends.
Just
That
goes
one.
on and on, my friend.
It's the mashup we need. Okay. Hooray. Okay, I think it's almost midnight. We're delirious. Here we are. Hooray. Well, join us next week for the god-awful Tim Burton movie. Or maybe
Man.
I'll like it. Who knows?
Or
gone into
the
all
amazing,
movies.
whimsical, and fun ride that is the Tim Burton Alice in Wonderland.
I feel like I've only ever enjoyed like original Tim Burton films. Like any like Tim Burton version of a movie I've disliked, but like if it's like a movie that it's not a version of something, I've enjoyed it from Tim Burton.
I could safely say if you didn't like the Tim Burton Willy Wonka, you will not like
Oh
this
God,
movie.
no!
I thought you liked Tim Burton really want that.
Yeah, that's
I
a
swore I would never again.
good summary.
Midsummery. Oh, good summary.
Midsummery? No, we should watch Midsummer. That's what we're watching.
Midsommar, yes.
No, I don't want to watch the poor guy's face get ripped off or whatever I read happened in that movie. You know, for the longest time, I was seeing like still shots of that movie, and I was thinking that it was like cut scenes from Mamma Mia. So now I just always imagine, what if I like had a mashup of Mamma Mia and Midsummer? That'd be so funny.
That would
It'd be one heck of a vacation for someone.
Yes. Okay. Well, with that, time for everybody to say goodbye. Tell everyone what you're doing, and yeah, it's all good. Here we go. We'll start with Jeanette.
Hello, I'm Blurry, and my name's Jeanette.
Hi, Blurry.
So,
Hi, Blurry.
so you can find me here on Teacup for One on Wednesdays typically. And you can find me on We Like Theme Parks on we drop on Thursdays now. Sorry, I almost said the day that we actually record. That's not what you want to know. So Thursdays on We Like Theme Parks. And we just finished up this coming week. We'll drop the finale, not the finale, one of our rounds of Villains League.
It's
Sorry.
not over yet?
No, it's not over yet. We're now in the next rounds. We did March Madness, and now we're in Villains League.
Woo! Brilliant.
Back in.
Okay. Thank you, Jeanette.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
I'm Kristen Zaza. I'm the creator, host, writer, podcaster, composer, spectral narrator on the audio drama podcast On a Dark Cold Night. You can find it at kristenzaza.com/podcast or look up On a Dark Cold Night on your favorite podcatchers. If you want some bonus meditations or monthly tarot readings, I do lots of fun things like that on my, well, basically those things. And the complete soundtrack is available on my Patreon, patreon.com/darkcoldnight, I think. And I also just released an album of some of there's 17 tracks, including the 3 versions of the theme song, and 14 of my favorite songs from over the last 200 or so episodes. You can find that on Spotify, iTunes, anywhere you like to get your music, any music streamers, by looking up favorite little songs from On a Dark Cold Night. So that's a fun thing I get to plug in terms of my podcast world news. But yeah.
Love it. Thank you, Kristen.
Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Alex Titai, and you can find me here on Teacup for One. Otherwise, good luck, but tough luck, because you're probably not going to catch me anywhere else. Yeah, and till next time.
And if you're watching, this is my channel. My name is Matt, and I have 2 degrees. Thank you for joining us for the 3rd week of the Alice in Wonderland movie marathon. Join us next week where we're going to talk about the Tim Burton movie. This was kind of the movie that ushered in this era of infamous Disney live-action remakes. So there's a lot to say about it. The Cheshire Cat's not as cute as I would like him to be, but we'll get to that next week. Until then, friends, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, please. Just there's still 11 of you here. All 11 of you. Click the thumbs up. It helps the algorithm, and that's it. Thank you. My name is Matt, and I have 2 degrees, and this has been the Tea Cup for One. How do I end this?